of course. That's our part. But that doesn't mean that one has to learn or one has to adapt Buddhism. I think everyone has their own freedom, their own, let's say, liberty to depict whatever part of Buddhism is suitable. But myself, if I look backwards to the past of the great beings or great teachers, masters, starting from the Buddha Shakyamuni himself until now, I can see that yes, Dharma or Buddha Dharma is absolutely beneficial. So therefore I think there is no harm in trying, in experimenting what Buddhism is like. Yes? And I think if one just experiments from time to time, one will find that there are many, many interesting things. Like one thing that I can say is like the topic of compassion. Like most of us have a general knowledge or general idea of what compassion is, and there is general knowledge or general idea about it, as well as individual ideas about it. Of course, none of those are wrong. Those are all facts and truths from different angles. But in this case, like by experimenting with this knowledge, it helps to sometimes explain what compassion could be. That compassion is not about pitying someone.
那么慈悲心并不是要可怜某个人。
Yes, although out of intense or out of a very pure heart, but still pitying. So I don't think that Buddhism suggests that that is the type of compassion. Because if it's about pitying, or you say kalian, is that then it's quite impermanent. It changes because unless you have an object, let's say someone who is ill or someone who is in underprivileged condition, only then you will have that sort of compassion. Otherwise, if you see someone happy or someone well off, there's no room for that type of compassion. Of course, all of us are always looking for something that is sustainable, something that will last a long time, with the idea of time. Or basically, we want something, when we know that there is something good, we want that for as long as possible. Yes. So that's why when our attitude is such, then Buddhism has the quality and the ability to actually point out what kind of compassion is most suitable. So I think that it is very easy to explain in words, but as always, when it comes to application, it becomes a little bit hard. I'm not saying a little bit hard, So, yeah. So if I say if I explain it in words, basically it's understanding. That compassion is none other than understanding others. Understanding others, maybe that's another Pandora box, because then it raises a lot of questions. But understanding in terms of now, how do you understand? What will you understand? In which ways? Of course, there are many, many questions. Well, if I remember correctly, as the sutras and sutras suggest that as we learn more and more, of course, we are able to develop better forms or better versions of understanding. So another thing about compassion is, first I said, it's none other than understanding. And then understanding is none other than wisdom. Therefore, one can see that the compassion and wisdom is really, really something that cannot be separated. One may try, but one may not succeed. So that's why if we are able to somehow find a way not to get carried away, to somehow separate the two, but just let it be, or letting the two be as it is or as they are, is somehow much more suitable. Yes. So all in all, Buddhism can be summarized very simply into basically a way to understand, all angles and all aspects of whatever knowledge that we want to absorb. And of course, the most important thing to understand is others, other than oneself, sentient beings. Yes? Understanding in this case doesn't have to be, there's nothing special to understand. All there is to understand is how we function, how we behave, how we think, how we talk, how we walk. Basically, studying about human beings and particularly how the mind is functioning, and most importantly, how can we be affected by emotions or by unaccounted or unreasonable circumstances or unfounded reasons, shaping individuals' lives. So basically, it's about asking questions. Of course, one can take courses, one can teach, one can read about, but finally, it's your own question. You are the one who will ask the question, and often you yourself are the ones who will answer. Of course, teachers, fellow students, or basically the rest, they are all also teachers, but they are more like the witness, or they are like an example, or they portray the teachings through their journey of life. So that's why sometimes I wonder that the Buddhist population is in some ways not that great, and maybe it is because it gives too much responsibility on oneself. Yes, it is actually. In fact, as we progress in our practice, more and more responsibilities are given on oneself, to the point that we might almost have sometimes headaches, and we cannot even move. So in that way, yes, it is not so easy. So I must say that it is not easy. But the moment we attempt the first step, the merit that we accumulate, what is known as basically the result, is great. It brings tremendous peace, not happiness, but peace. And I think that's another important aspect, that it's really about obtaining peace, or finding peace rather than finding happiness. Yes. Happiness is just another sort of a form of emotion, one could say, that it just comes and it goes. Yes. Whereas a state of peace, a state of clarity, is eternal, one could say. So I hope that all of you will have countless of opportunities to experiment with Buddhism. I myself am a Buddhist, and I'm very proud of it, although I should not be. But I said not to be proud. A better word would be ungrateful. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope I didn't bore you. So I welcome you.